Let's review what are some of the best practices to connect Tableau with Incorta. Incorta can also act as a database for Tableau, and you can connect Tableau to Incorta using Postgres connector. Before you do that, this is what I will recommend. Let's use this sales sample schema, sample data that we ship with Incorta. And when you click on diagram, you can see sales is the main driving table here. Then there are other tables that we join to sales table. Now you can connect Tableau and pick and choose tables that you want to use in Tableau and create joins in Tableau as well, the way we create in Incorta. But I will not recommend that. Best practice is to create a business schema. So this business schema sales underscore B. This is where you can drag and drop field from different tables in sales schema and then use this view, sales view from sales underscore B schema in Tableau. Number one advantage of doing that is you avoid creating joins in Tableau. And Incorta will figure out, whenever query comes to Incorta will figure out how to bring in data from different tables and then return the request which came from Tableau. Now, another thing to keep track of, to make sure that you have defined a base table. Now, what is base table? Let me just show you here. In this schema, in sales schema, if you click on diagram here, this is your transaction table, driving table. Typically, in 99% of the cases, your base table will be your driving table or transaction table or fact table, if you want to call it, if you have star schema. So let's go ahead and do that. Click on change base table. So this is already defined here for sales schema. Sales is the base table. Now that is number one. Number two is, please make sure that click on this plus here and drag and drop all the columns here. And make sure there's no error in any columns here. Once you have verified this, it works fine. Then I will recommend it. Your view is kind of ready to be used with Tableau. One more check you can do is click on SQL, make sure SQL is getting generated. Sometimes it may not because of the formulas that I have defined here. For example, there's a profit formula, gross margin formula that we have defined here. So sometimes these formulas may work with Tableau, sometimes may not. So be careful when you're defining formula in the business view. It's very typical you define this formula to be used by Incorta dashboard, but some of those formulas may not work with Tableau. So for example, if I remove this from here and click on SQL, now it works, right? So some of these formulas, the way we design it, it's okay to do that if you are planning to use that with Incorta dashboard, but please just remove those formulas if you're planning to use this view with Tableau. And try to define a view specifically just for Tableau, right? Don't use existing views. Those views have been designed to be used by Incorta dashboard, not with external SQLite tool. There can be really complex formula there, which is meant to be working only with Incorta, but not with Tableau. So be careful when you define any view in Incorta that you want to use with Tableau. Okay, once this is done, all you need to do is just connect Tableau to Incorta and start analyzing this data. So let's go to Tableau and click on Postgres, specify the server URL here, not URL, the IP address or name of the server here. Port should always be 5436. That by always, I mean this is the default port. This database name should be same as tenant name for Incorta. Then provide your user ID and password and sign in. Now, as soon as you sign in, you will notice that you have access to all these tables here, right? Admin has access to all the tables. So I signed in as admin. So admin user is able to see all the tables here. Other recommendation is define a new user to be used with Tableau, and to that user give access to only business views that are designed specifically for Tableau, and then let that user use those business views. Do not expose schema and all the tables to your business user who's using Tableau or other user using Tableau with Incorta. And also be careful when using alias table. Sometimes I've seen issues when you define alias table in Incorta and then use that in Tableau. Be careful with that too. Okay, so let me search for sales underscore B, which is our business schema. Just drag and drop it here. And let's go ahead and just drag and drop some columns and see the experience, how it looks like when you use this with Incorta. So let's go to worksheet here. So let's do a simple analysis. Maybe I just want to drag product category here and subcategory and then amount sold. So one of the advantage of using Incorta with Tableau is the performance. This is just 1 million records. You can see sub-second query performance, but even with large data volume up to like billion or few billion, you should expect a really good performance. And then maybe I want to bring in gender here, customer gender, and want to filter it by that, for example. Just want to run some queries because I want to show you one more feature where you can review all these queries in Incorta. So click on show filter, and then now you can click on this and all these values are changing and so on. Now every time I click here, Tableau is sending query to Incorta and all those queries are captured in Incorta. How do you see those queries? Let's go back and click on schema. This is audit SQLi schema. You can create the schema yourself if it doesn't exist in your environment. All you need to do is click on files here, and there is a folder called let's see, SQLi audit. So in the select, you can just pick and choose the folder. I have selected the SQLi folder here, and any audit CSV file which is there will be picked up by Incorta. You can have more than one file sometimes, so Incorta will pick up those files. Now let's go ahead and click load. You can of course schedule it to load every 5 minutes, for example. Right now I'm loading it manually to make sure all the SQL that Tableau sent in the last 1 or 2 minutes are captured or loaded in this table, which is based on that SQLi audit file. Now I can go back here and click on this dashboard, which is fetching data from the table that we just reviewed. So any query which fails, you can show that. So there's a status here, right? So status can be failure, success. I've selected both here. Then you can have handler as well. So in handler, you will see all these. I don't care about metadata. And you will see Spark here as well if some queries are going to Spark, but most of the queries will go to engine because we want to take performance of the engine. And then here, just sort it by timestamp. And then you can look at all these queries here, right? Because we ran a query where I was looking at revenue by category and subcategory. So you can see here, select category, product category and subcategory, and then sum of amount sold. And of course, you will see if you scroll down, you should also be able to see when we are Incorta is getting query when we are filtering it by gender, right? So there you go, right? So we are gender and so on. So this is how you can connect Tableau to Incorta and take advantage of high performance database. That's what Incorta is for Tableau.